Hello, I'm Donna Arnold and I'm the story hunter. Now, my story today was about a family who told me about how they did some research and what they discovered. And they told me this ages ago. A decade ago, I remember hearing this story, which has sort of really probably triggered my interest in doing the research. And I just was in awe exactly what they did and how they found it. So, now, before I go on about that, just a little bit about me. As I said, I'm the story hunter. I loved finding snippets of information and making a story out of it. I love doing the research on our ancestors and our family tree. It's amazing what you can find. Just with a little bit of a clipping of a newspaper clipping, you can get a great laugh. May have been not so funny the day, but I'm thinking of my grandmother's court on her divorce. It's just amazing what comes out, and because being in the family, and you go, well, that's so typical of this family. So it's all genetic stuff. So this is what I love to do, find out bits of information with different ways. And I've created a group, a Facebook group online, where a community, I want to help you. I've had people ask me, and I've helped people before, they get stuck. So they just need a little bit of help to move on, or they just can't get started. They want to start, but can't. So that's what we're about. My group is the Story Hunter Hub, and that's in the Facebook group. Now, back to these people, this family that told me about their story. As they discovered that their ancestors arrived in Australia and were pioneers in a southeast Queensland town. And from there, the gentleman, he established himself and he got involved in construction of the main buildings, like, for example, a church. So now there's an actual road in their name. And also from there, where they came from was overseas, UK. They were free people. They weren't actual convicts, but so they were free travelers. My name is just missed me. But anyway, so they went back and found them. They came from Devon. So what one couple did, who was in the family, decided when they did their next UK trip or Europe trip, they would go and investigate this little town in Devon, in this area. And luck is with them. They actually went to the church, found the family name in the church register. So once again, they were in that situation. Wow, this is where the great-great-grandfather was christened or married. Information is there with weddings and bands and christenings and unfortunately funerals. So that information is there. So then what they decided to do is they could see on this register, as some of them haven't, it's just so lucky, there was an address of where this, I think it must have been a christening, an address. So they decided to see if they could find the house. They did. So here they are outside the front of the house, looking around and having a bit of a talk and just sort of drifting away and thinking, what were they doing back then in the 1850s or whenever it was. And one of the neighbours came out and saw them loitering, for want of a better word, around the front of the house outside. So he came over and approached them and said, how can I help you? Well, they told the story to the neighbour. Now, the neighbour and them got into a great conversation, and as it turns out, that particular house was empty at the time. But he also said that the person down at the post office, running the post office, is the same surname. So they're the owners of the house, so go and have a talk to them. So that's what they did. Headed off down to the post office, had a cup of tea, some afternoon tea with them, had a chat with them. And it seems obviously that the post office operator realises that, well, these people are sort of long distant relatives, and they seem like nice people. So actually asked them and offered them, if they want to, they could spend their night in the house because it was furnished. What a wonderful suggestion. So the people who are from Australia went all the way over there just to actually have a bit of a look to see what they could find in the town. And they ended up spending the night in the house that their great-great-grandfather lived in. How great is that? How wonderful. What a great idea. That's the things I want to do, is when the isolation is over, head off to certain places and do a little bit of investigating to see what I could find. Isn't that a great story? I just love it. So anyway, that's what I'm about. Like I said, my Facebook group is the Story Hunter Hub. I'd love to hear from you. Now, if you're still with me, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.